So thanks everybody for being here tonight. So this is a weekly webinar program of Citizens Climate Lobby that provides CCL supporters with access to in-depth learning opportunities on topics relating to climate change and effective climate advocacy. I'm your host, Bill Barron, and tonight's topic is fundraising tools to help support CCL. If you're looking for, so tonight's session, all of us being Bill Barron, I'm your network director from the West. And we have Carolyn Weaver with us. Carolyn has joined our development team and is a passionate environmentalist with a decade of experience in nonprofits. We also have some amazing volunteers. We have Luke Clark from Golden, Colorado, and John Sabin from Oberlin, Ohio. So we're excited to all be here with you today. Our three learning goals will be to share about CCL's year-end fundraiser, then go into fundraising toolkit and Pledge It user guide, then dive deeper into peer-to-peer examples and Pledge It and Facebook.
And yeah, hi everyone. I am Carolyn Weaver, Development Officer on the fundraising team. I'm very new to Citizens Climate, and I'm thrilled to be part of this incredible community of people who not only care deeply about the climate, but who show up consistently, strategically, and with heart to make a difference. And so I am here today to talk about our year-end fundraiser and our fundraising toolkit that explains how to set up peer-to-peer fundraisers. So our year-end fundraiser kicks off on Giving Tuesday, December 2nd, and runs through December 31st. As many of you probably already know, this is one of only two national fundraisers we hold each year to mobilize donations from our base of volunteers and supporters. And our goal this year is to raise $1.25 million. And so grassroots donations make up a huge part of our budget, about 90% for CCL, 77% for CCE. And most of those gifts come in during our year-end campaign. And so these funds are what make it possible to do what we do best: train, support, mobilize thousands of citizens to build relationships with Congress and move climate solutions forward. And so this year, we're asking everyone to participate, to make a personal donation if possible, and to encourage others to give as well. Last year, even though tens of thousands of people took action with Citizens Climate, we only had about 4,800 people make a financial contribution. So imagine the impact if everyone who takes action also made a gift. Together, we could strengthen our training programs, expand outreach, and make sure citizens have a stronger voice in shaping climate policy. So this year, we're encouraging every volunteer to do two things. One, make a personal donation, if possible, in any amount that feels meaningful to you. And two, invite others to join you in giving. We're also excited to share that we'll have a special Giving Tuesday bonus gift happening again this year, which is made possible by several of our wonderful Climate Guardian donors. And so to unlock this bonus, we need to raise $250,000 on Giving Tuesday, December 2nd. And if we hit that milestone and raise that amount on that day, an additional $250,000 bonus gift will be added to the campaign total, which will double our impact and give this fundraiser a really strong momentum to kick things off. And so that's kind of the basics of our year-end fundraiser. And now I want to show you some resources that we have in our fundraising toolkit that you can use to help support us in this year-end fundraiser and also throughout the year. So here is kind of our basic fundraising toolkit. So this is on Community underneath Resources and Training. And this is where we provide a variety of tools that you can use. This first one being just a fundraising slide with an easy to scan QR code. We have this awesome fundraising handout with a little bit more information on it, also with that same QR code that links directly to our donation page on our website. And then we have a fundraising email template that you can send to your network. And so all of these you can download either as a PDF or this is a Google Doc you can click and access to easily copy and paste. And so we're hoping people can use these to simply send out this information and make it easy so that we can have as many people know about our year-end fundraiser as possible. So please utilize this toolkit. And we also have on this resource page a Pledge It user guide. So this is a guide that we created to kind of give an overview of Pledge It, which I'm going to go into a little bit more and show you our page in a moment. And it is essentially a peer-to-peer fundraising platform where you can direct fundraise or also create pledge campaigns. And so this page shows this guide that we created. It has a link up here in this title line that leads directly to our Pledge It campaign. And then you can also download this as a PDF, and then all of the information in the guide is also listed below. So this kind of shows you what Pledge It is and then how to set up your own campaign. And so now I'm going to shift us over out of our community to our year-end fundraising page on Pledge It. And so most of us are familiar with Facebook fundraising campaigns. I think when you post a cause you care about with a financial goal and you share it to your Facebook network. And that is a great and simple way to get involved in peer-to-peer fundraising. And we definitely welcome Facebook campaigns from our supporters. But the Pledge It platform is a great alternative option if you want to, one, share your campaign via email, text, or other social media instead of exclusively using Facebook. Or two, you want to create a creative pledge campaign. So instead of asking for flat donations, you invite people to pledge a certain amount for each action you complete. And then the final donation amount is calculated based on your results. And so this type of campaign is a fun, very motivating way to turn your personal goals into dollars raised. So some examples, which are going to go into further as Bill and our guests will talk about, but miles walked, like pledge $5 for every mile I walk this month. Rows knitted, pledge $1 for every row I knit. Push-ups done, pledge $10 for every push-up I do on Giving Tuesday. Things like that. And there's more examples in the Pledge It guide as well. And so here I'm just going to kind of show you our basic Pledge It page. So it's a pretty simple platform. You see up here we have two buttons, the join button. So that's what you're going to click if you want to create your own mini campaign underneath our year-end fundraiser. And then donate, which is basically a way to just give funding to CCE, and you just don't want to go through our main donation platform on our website. And so it has just some basic information about kind of the end of year fundraiser, who we are, some pictures, how we're making change. And then we get down here and we see a running list that's constantly updated of the donations, and then a leaderboard of who is winning at the moment in terms of raising the most funds. And so if we go back up here, if you want to create your own campaign, this is where you're going to go. You're going to click join. It's going to ask if you're doing it by yourself or with a team. And so I'll just, for this example, show you as an individual. And it'll bring you to this page where you can customize it with a picture, profile picture, your own background picture, set your goal, figure out what activity you want to track. And if you don't want to do a pledge activity format, you could just click dollars and just simply do a normal dollars raised to your network. And then you put in your goal and your ability to create a vanity URL, and then you can create your page and share it with your entire network to help us in our year-end fundraising effort. And so a couple just little quick notes about Pledge It. All of the campaigns you're creating are essentially mini campaigns underneath our larger year-end fundraiser. So the funds will go directly to Citizens Climate National. So this is not a way to fundraise for your individual chapter. And then we also welcome Pledge It campaigns year-round. So there will be an evergreen campaign on Pledge It that will go live after the year-end fundraiser is finished, so that you can fundraise whenever works best for you. That being said, helping with the year-end fundraiser is ideal because it is our biggest fundraising push annually. And you could even increase your impact by creating a one-day pledge challenge on December 2nd if you want to be part of that Giving Tuesday match that I mentioned earlier. And so the guide I shared in the fundraising toolkit, it has more specific details and steps for setting up a page, but also I am the staff point person. So my email is on the next slide. If you have any questions as you're setting up a Pledge It campaign, or you want to brainstorm fun pledge ideas and get creative with it, please feel free to always reach out to me, and I can definitely help with any of this. And yeah, I just am, so thankful that if you're watching this, you're potentially interested in peer-to-peer fundraising, which is Just a great way to amplify our impact and get even more engagement and dollars in to do our work.
Wonderful. Thanks, Carolyn, for all. Okay, now we get to the fun part. Something in my mind is that the climate advocacy work that we do can be difficult, and it's always kind of it's a looking at a working on a solution in the over a long span of time, and so for me, I was always trying to find is there something fun or creative that I could do that could also benefit, climate in some fashion? And so this is kind of where I landed as another opportunity to, do the work or help in the effort and have fun while doing it. So just wanted to, share. There we go. The things that I think are really worth considering in a fundraising campaign is that it is another way to make a difference for climate, and it's a way for people to really appreciate you for what you're doing. Lots of donations that I've received over the years, I feel like have been sort of a way for people to express their thanks for the effort that I make. And, at times I would love to have those folks join me in lobbying. And some people aren't, either they don't have time or they're not comfortable doing it. And this is a way that they can be a part of the team. So I always try to encourage thinking about, that this is a way for people to, you know, express that gratitude. And it's a great way for people who, you know, are able to contribute financially to help out. So, the other recommendations that I would make is that, you know, try to think about being creative and having fun with these campaigns because I think there's a great opportunity to do that. And I have invited John and Luke to share about some of the creativity and fun that I feel they had in the campaigns that they did, and I asked them to share with us about their experiences. And there's opportunities, I think, to either participate individually or to set up some sort of goal by chapter or by state. You could have fun with this by creating awards for, people reaching certain goals or getting a certain number of donations. So there's a lot of ways to go with this. That's just kind of fun to do, but is also doing something for what we believe in, which is action on climate.
Thanks so much, Bill. It is great to be able to hear all of the success stories already that we've reviewed. And what I wanted to do briefly is just a little walkthrough reminder of a great training page that we have here on raising funds for CCL National around how to create a social media fundraiser and especially jumping into Facebook fundraisers because Facebook really makes it easy to set up and execute a fundraiser on the platform for the charity of your choice, in this case, Citizens Climate Lobby. So here's a brief recap of how to do it. First, you want to actually go to Facebook and create on the top right navigation bar. You can select fundraiser, and then after selecting fundraiser, you can search for our actual nonprofit, just typing in Citizens Climate Lobby. It's important to note that by specifying that, all the funds received through Facebook are tax deductible and go right to our C3, Citizens Climate Education. Enter your fundraising goal and your timeline, and then select a title and share why you're raising funds for CCL. And it's really helpful to share your own personal climate story right here, or really tie into what CCL has been focusing on that's inspiring you. If you need help, you can check out ongoing forum resources that we have on community to help you write a fundraising appeal. We also have great resources in the toolkit that Bill and Carolyn have featured tonight. You can select a photo then for the cover page, like in our fundraiser toolkit, and Facebook is also going to default to CCL's header image to help with that logo. Then all you have to do is publish fundraiser. Invite your friends to the fundraiser, donate, share your timeline. Facebook's going to ensure that your fundraiser is seen by your network and will automatically send them little reminder notifications to donate. And these same steps that are review for the rest of the campaign, you can also apply to your Pledge It campaign as well. So next up, what you really want to dive into next is just like having somebody make that first donation. It can help if you actually tell others that you're a donor yourself. Below are some examples of powerful messaging that demonstrate how you can inspire others to join you in making a gift. Quotes like, I started off my fundraising campaign by contributing $50. Will you join me in supporting CCL? Or every year for the last half decade, I donated $100 to CCL. This year, I hope to amplify the impact of my gift by fundraising an additional $500. I've donated the first $100. Will you help me to make the end goal? You name it, there's a bunch of great quotes that we've got on there, and we'd love for you to share what's working well for you and personalizing your own ask. Then what we want to do is ask others in your network to help join you in giving, especially on Giving Tuesdays. We heard from Carolyn. Now that you've got a goal, a timeline, and a story on your fundraising page, it's time to start asking for donations. You can ask in person or over the phone. That's often sometimes the easiest way, considering that you have those connections with your inner circle. It really helps to share your experience about your volunteering with CCL, the reasons that you feel it's worthy of a donation, and being your authentic self, right? Include an emotional reason, a personal reason in your ask. If they say yes, you can also make sure to thank them immediately and direct them right to that URL for your fundraising page. And if they say no, don't take it hard. Lots of people won't be able to give, and that's not at all a reflection on the skill set that you have in asking for fundraising, your friendship, or your passion. You can also, email or have direct messages on Facebook. Some of our volunteer network has found that to be really effective and a time-efficient way to ask your prospective donors to give to CCL. It helps to write up a general pitch where you can pull in, why are you raising money? And then modifying it for your audience. You can include a link to your fundraising pitch so they know where to thank you for your donation. And also, you can write them in batches to individuals, you name it. Just make sure there's a personal touch so that people know they're not receiving a bulk mail. And then lastly, social media is also a really easy way to share your fundraising goals to help progress with wider networks. While posting your fundraising goal on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram isn't as effective as a direct solicitation, it can help bring in donations from some long lost contacts that we've heard and to remind people that you've already asked with a different touch point. A couple other things to keep in mind, especially as the campaign is rolling along, is when somebody does donate, make sure to slow down to take the time to thank them. Whether that's via a phone call, an email, your social media connection, it's really important to recognize any dollar for your cause with its generosity. And it's also important, I think, to name this. Just like scheduling a meeting with Congress can require persistence, it really is also the same with friends and family in donating to a fundraising campaign. So, some of the ways that you can help follow up are including face to face interactions. If you send an email already or a direct message, you can try following up on that same thread in another 1 to 2 weeks. Research shows that as you get closer to your goal, people are also more likely to donate so that they can help you get to that top edge if they see that the goal is within reach and the deadline is approaching. So if you've already asked somebody early on and they haven't donated yet, try approaching them again if you had some successes towards the end of your fundraise. You can also post updates for your campaign on social media to generate increased attention. And also, just help think about ways that you could tag and thank people publicly on social media, share ongoing inspiring climate change news stories or other positive anecdotes from CCL's online media, or you name it, the work that we're doing and the success that you have. Lastly, as you wrap up your campaign, once it finishes, first and foremost, congratulate yourself. You've done an incredible thing for the organization for which we are incredibly grateful. And then we really have a chance to slow down and post a final message or a reflection to all of your donors. Tell them how much you raised in total, what their participation in your goal meant to you, make it personal, and then also look through your overall donor list to make sure that each of the individuals that you followed up with has had the chance to hear from you. That's really the high level overview for any of these campaigns on social. And with that, I'll pass it back to you, Bill. Thank you all so much again for your involvement and consideration for trying out one of these campaigns.
Again, our panelists tonight. I like this. Both a panelist and a moderator. The panelists tonight are John Saban, Chess for Climate Action, Luke with Walk Aldo, and my Rides for Climate. So I'm really excited to get into this panel discussion. And I'm going to first ask that uh, John and then Luke kind of just give an overview of what they did and any top line thoughts they had about the experience that they would like to share with everybody. And then I'm going to move into the panel section and ask a few questions just to spur some more conversation around what these can be and look like for each individual. So with that, I'm going to pass it to John. John, can you share a little bit about what you did and how it all worked?
Yeah, thank you, Bill. Yeah, so in 2022, I think, in December, I decided to create a Chess for Climate Action fundraiser. I'm a lifelong chess player. And so what I did was I said that I was going to play 10 what are called blitz chess games. So a blitz chess game is where you have a very small amount of time to complete all of your moves in the game. And in this case, they were 3 minutes for each player would have 3 minutes for all of your moves. So if you run out of time, you lose. Whoever runs out of time first loses, or you might lose in an ordinary way. But you could play about 10 games in an hour. So, and you can do it online. I use this platform chess.com where you get there's an algorithm that will match you with opponents of roughly equal strength. So it was really a coin flip whether I was going to win or lose. Um, and then I reached out to friends and family and asked them to make a pledge to CCL for every game I could manage to win out of 10. And that first year, I won 4 games and I raised a little over $700 by myself. So that was pretty exciting, and it was also so much fun. I also broadcast the games on Zoom, and invited all of my donors to watch the games, and then I did a running commentary on the games. So this photograph was actually a screen capture from that. You can see my daughter next to me. She was watching, and I'm doing a running commentary on this game. And then a year later, I decided to try to bring more people into it. So I reached out to other people I knew who were chess players. I reached out to a number of university chess teams, and I got the Ohio State Chess Club agreed to be part of it. And we had like about, I don't know, 6 or 7 people from Ohio State, and then a bunch of other people. And we had 12 players in total. And 12 players in total, we raised a little over $5,000. And it was the most fun thing I ever did in CCL. And I did a lot of other things that were fun, but these two chess fundraisers were the most fun I ever had in CCL. So I guess I'll stop there and let Luke tell his story, but that's just a little bit about what I did.
John, thanks for sharing. I love the how you incorporated the things that you did in that second uh, event, and I love how it can be so much fun to do these things while you're doing good. It's just a great combination.
So this is my current campaign. I just got it up today. Aldo, who's with me this evening, I don't know if you can see him, but
Uh-huh.
he's a pretty regular companion now. And when I need to get outdoors, which happens at least once a day, I like to take him for a walk. And in that picture there, you can see that's his take me for a walk body language. But uh, mine's a little different. I have promised to walk him at least a mile for every single pledge, no matter the dollar amount. I'm trying to get interest by gaming it a little bit. If you look closely at him, it's difficult to tell what breed he is, and so I'm inviting people to guess. And everybody who donates, my acknowledgement will include naming his breed and a little bit of background on it, which it fascinates me. My wife has heard enough about it, but I hope it's interesting to my donors. I I I want to try to gamify it. I'm not a chess player, but I think engaging people a little bit in a game makes it a little fun, makes them a little more likely to respond uh, to what we're doing, and it's fun to try to tie these things together, that I'm already doing and I already enjoy, but there's definitely a climate angle. I mean, there's a climate angle to everything since it's important to our survival and to the survival of all species, including dogs.
Oh, that's wonderful, Luke. I love and for everyone who's here tonight, Luke's this is a second time, a totally different idea that was really creative. Do you mind just sharing shortly a little bit about your previous campaign that you did as well?
Yes, that was. I am learning Japanese on Duolingo. It's an app, and it's actually quite good. And there's a tie into the climate. The reason I'm trying to learn Japanese is my grandsons, 2-year-old twin boys, live in Tokyo. My son has lived in Tokyo for about 17 years. His wife is a Japanese woman, so the boys are growing up in a bilingual home. They will speak English and Japanese, and I want to be involved in every conversation they have. So I learning Japanese, and it's a ways off. I've gone now 2 years straight. My campaign was, the donations. I will keep I will not miss a day for the rest of this year, and I made it. And in fact, I've gone 2 years uh, with an unbroken streak. They give you some grace days, but anyway, uh, I've I got enough Japanese. I can understand a little bit when I'm there. I get some of the conversation, and I can greet people. And we do video chats with my grandson a few times a week, and I greet them in English and Japanese. And they're just getting to the point where they're starting to repeat words that they hear because they're only two.
Oh, that's awesome. I love it.
And the tie-in, it's that I ask people, if you donate, I will tell you the tie-in to the climate. And to me, my concern for the climate, is doubled, when these beautiful children came into my life and the world that they will inherit. I would like it to be better than the one that they were born into.
Okay, now I'm going to go to my panelist side of myself right now and just share a little bit about what I have done in as far as fundraising goes. And I think the irony for me is that my original way of connecting cycling to my climate work was being a candidate as an unaffiliated candidate advocating for carbon pricing at the federal level. And I was a carpenter at the time and I had heard a story about a politician who walked his district to get to know the constituents, and I felt like, well, maybe I should try cycling the district and do it that way and do something creative. And it kind of spurred on this just uh, perpetual desire to tie my advocacy to my love of cycling, and I would call it pedaling for a purpose. And this led to really what CCL has done for me over the years is it's taught me to, uh, move beyond my discomfort in certain ways and to speak up in ways that I never dreamed. But also, I realized that, I was pretty uncomfortable asking for donations, and I wondered about that and really tried to employ what I learned in CCL about, going outside your comfort zone to try doing this fundraiser the first time. And it was, it was for me, I try to do some sort of ride that I th would enjoy. I like to do something that's physically challenging because then it makes me be sure that I ride to be prepared for it. And that is in part, helps me process all the things that are going on in the world, is to get on my bicycle and get some exercise and some fresh air and appreciate the beautiful world we live in. And so I kind of tied all of that together and started doing these fundraisers. I've done four so far. I always set a high goal. Always like this last one that I did just in September, I strove for 25,000, raising $25,000, which was ridiculous. And was amazed that I was able to raise over 10,000 in that campaign. All the other fundraisers have been well received, and what I've found is that when I do these, I hear from old friends. Pledge it's really nice because people can comment on while they make a donation, and it's amazing how you hear the appreciation come from people who you may know in other parts of your life who do see that you're out there doing this advocacy and do appreciate what you're doing. So that's sort of a overview of what's driven me to do these adventure rides as a way to raise money as well. And it's just for me feels really good to connect what I love in cycling to the climate work that we do. So now I'm gonna move into being the moderator-ish again, and bring up a few questions just to kind of start a conversation, because I think it's really interesting, how people come to this place. So the first question I have for all of us is, what gave you the idea to do this in the first place, these creative fundraisers? John, are you?
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure, how that idea occurred to me. I think partly it's because I was spending a lot of time playing chess online and I felt a little guilty about that because it seemed like not a socially helpful thing to be doing. And there's, a lot of good, important work that needs to be done. And so I wondered, like, how could I make this chess hobby somehow like socially redeemable? I think that was part of it. And also, my local chapter had done some fundraisers for CCL in previous years where we had musicians perform either on the street or we had like inside of a little store where they were given a little space to play the dulcimer. And we had like a little dulcimer trio. And then that would draw people to the corner of the store. And we had, a little donation jar and we would give people information about CCL. And it kind of made me think that when we do a fundraiser, we should do something for the people who were asking money. We're asking money from them. We should do something for them. And you might think that working to save the planet is enough. That's what we're doing for them, right? But I think sometimes it's good to do more than that, to do some kind of a song and dance for people, to entertain them in some way. And since I had this chess hobby, it occurred to me that maybe it could be used in this way. So I don't know. It sort of came together for me in that way.
I love it. Um, and I think, the way you talked about performing or giving something for people to experience, I think that's a really a great idea. How about you, Luke?
Well, I deliberately avoided the physical challenge that you do, Bill, because there was no way I could come near it. But I wanted to do something that was really kind of off the wall and something I knew I was committed to doing. So the Japanese thing was there, and it's not physically challenging, but it's challenging, and I wanted, some reinforcement to keep doing what I'm doing. And I like to brag about my grandchildren. So there's that. And this year I get to brag about my silly dog. So I like to bring, something of myself, something playful and entertaining, because there's enough out there that's hard and brings us down, and asking people for money is kind of awkward. And so I think with some humor and a little bit of a game, it I don't know, it's that sugar that helps the medicine go down.
Our old friend, former staff member Tamara Staten, who often talks about bringing joy and play into our climate work. I think she was an inspiration to me in this too. Like, this is a great way to bring joy and play into climate work. Like I said, this is the most fun thing I ever did in CCL. So have fun. Like, you can have fun and make money for CCL. So it's a great idea.
Here, because I think that this is a great entryway for people to still do something for climate that I know we all feel very passionate about, that can be fun as well in some fashion, or creative, and then, benefiting the work that we do at the same time. So, well, thanks so much for being here. It's been fun to spend this time with you and share what you've been working on, and just really appreciate you, John and Luke, for participating in this. And hopefully this will be helpful for those who see the recording down the road. And thanks for all of you who joined us tonight, and hope you have a great night.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Citizens Climate Lobby's training program. You can tune into more episodes anywhere podcasts are available. Inspired by what you heard today? Join Citizens Climate Lobby to advocate for bipartisan climate solutions. Go to community.citizensclimate.org to find more trainings, resources, your local chapter, national action teams, discussion forums, and more. Be sure to like our Facebook page and follow us on Twitter and Instagram @CitizensClimate. We also invite all of our listeners to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more inspiration.
Like what you hear? Recommend us to your friends and make sure to give us a 5-star rating. It helps us show up on other listeners' feeds. Feel free to pass on any suggestions for future episodes in the comments as well.
And together, we are creating the political will for a livable world.